So you're excited for your holiday to Thailand or Cambodia or somewhere in Southeast Asia, but you do have to be careful of some scams which are daily occurrences. Now, not everyone in Asia is out to scam the Western tourist, for example, but there are some unscrupulous people who may want to. You're excited to go and lie on a beautiful beach, but before you get to the beach, you have to go through the airport. Now, in Thailand, for example, you may have pre-booked your taxi, or you may take the metro or the train to Bangkok city centre, for example. If you are taking, and these are not, there's no scam there, never found one, but I have found at the taxi rank, which is on the ground floor, you pick up a ticket from this kind of machine, and then you wait for the number or the taxi to arrive at the taxi stand. You hop into it. Now, there is a 50 baht fee for that. That's standard, that's okay. But the taxi driver may not want to put on the meter, and you say, take me to this hotel in Bangkok. You can show him the picture, you can show him the Thai writing, which you may have prepared already, and he will say 500 baht. When it's going to possibly cost you 300 baht and the 50 baht service fee for the airport. So do be aware of that. All you need to say is put on the meter, by meter, and if there's any problem, you can go and talk to security like that. It's happened once in a blue moon for me. The Thai for putting in the meter and say by meter mai, and this is something that you can do everywhere in Bangkok. If you are going by taxi, you can say how much can you put on the meter. If not, then you may get scammed. But there is a pretty good metro and overhead train service as well. Phuket. When you arrive in Phuket, you have lots of opportunities to get a minivan. Pretty easy, pretty cheap to get to your destination. But once you're in the van, you may travel for about 10-15 minutes, and you'll stop at a travel agent where they will actually write down the name of your hotel, give it to the driver so he can organize the hotels and drop people off. But at the same time, they may want to sell you a tour. But these tours can be double the price, of the tour that you can find in the center, like Patong Beach in Phuket, where you're going to. So don't go with them. Just say, no, thank you, it's fine. It's a little bit of a scam. They're trying to grab the first person there because it's the cheapest way. On the way back, you can get the mini bus, exactly the same, may cost a little bit more, or you can take a taxi from Patong to Phuket Airport for around about 800 baht. What else do we have here? In Cambodia, for example, when you do arrive at the airport, you can check whether, before you go, you can check whether the actual hotel does supply a tuk-tuk driver. If they don't, then in Siem Reap there is a service station where you can get a tuk-tuk into the city. You pay them, and it is a little bit expensive. You can get tuk-tuks outside, but it's quite a long walk, maybe like 200-300 meters, and I've never done this experience, they may try to scam you. But if you're going from the airport on a serviced kind of tuk-tuk, it may cost you, need coffee. It may be $10, or for a taxi maybe a little bit more. But if you go outside, then you could say maybe $8. From the city centre, when I used to live in the city centre here, I used to pay near enough $7 to get to the airport, which is okay, which includes the parking fee inside the airport. So when you do book a tour, basically make sure you go to the local travel agent, and there's many there to choose from. The next scam that I have never encountered, but it does actually exist, is when you get to the hotel, wherever it is in Thailand or in Cambodia. You book the hotel on Agoda or on Booking, on hotels.com, whatever there. Then you get to your room and it's not the room you booked for. Then they may say, well, it's fully booked, but if you pay extra, we can get you that room. You can say, no, this is what I paid for. You can say you're going to leave a bad review, and most of the time they will accept it. I have been to hotels before in Pattaya, for example, and I booked a standard room, but it was like really rubbish with one of these big TVs from the 1990s, and I asked them to change it and they did quite happily, but it wasn't peak season with that. That can happen near enough anywhere, so do be aware of it. I heard about this scam a couple of weeks ago and I thought I'd like to share it with. So going back to the travel agents, the travel agent in the hotel is going to charge you more because they have more fees to pay. And in Pattaya, in Phuket, and in Bangkok, there's hundreds and hundreds to choose from. How do you know? I would go to TripAdvisor, which one is a good one, and check it out. And if there's good reviews, then that's the one. You just have to shop around a little bit. Don't always go to the first one, go to the second one, go to the third one. And you can always ask for a discount as well. The next scam that I have encountered before is the restaurant scam. You go into a restaurant and they will give you the foreign menu. In other words, prices are double. This actually happened to be in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. I went into a Chinese restaurant. I didn't check the prices outside, and then I paid it, didn't think any of it. I walked past the restaurant the next day and I just picked up a menu. It was a regular menu. Everything was half price. I've been scammed. So do be aware that there may be two menus on there. Go and check the prices of the food outside. Or they usually have like the menu outside and you can flick through, or they have the big billboards and giving you the prices. If you think it's relatively reasonable, then go for it. Another scam which is really common is the motorbike scam. Now, if you are going to ride a motorbike in Thailand, I repeat, you need a license. I repeat, you need a license. Cambodia, anything under a 125, so a 124cc motorbike, you can drive without a license. The laws sort of vary. Sometimes it's yes for tourists, sometimes it's no for tourists. I do have a motorbike license, and so I'm okay actually to ride a motorbike in Thailand, Philippines, any ASEAN country related to that. And take photographs of the motorbike. It's going to have the cheapest possible insurance ever with that. So, and your travel insurance possibly will say it won't cover motorbike insurance. So make sure you feel confident on the road, make sure the motorbike is good, check the brakes, etc., check the oil, blah, blah, blah. Normal things that you would do, but take photographs of the motorbike. The reason being is that when you return it, they say, oh, look at the scratch there. And then you can check. If there's a scratch, you pay. If there isn't, and it's the same as the picture that you took before you rented the motorbike, then you can say, no, it's not, it's a scam. People do get caught out, and the simple thing is, if it's not a big thing, if it's not a big scratch, it's going to be relatively cheap. Just pay, learn your lesson. The same thing with jet skis. There's always a big scam with jet skis. And I personally, in Thailand and here in Cambodia, I would just avoid them like the plague. In the Caribbean, they're more expensive, but you just pay and usually everything is fine. I've had no problem in the Caribbean. Now, nightlife, here we go. So it's nighttime in Phuket, Patong, it's nighttime in Bangkok or Siem Reap or Pattaya. you may go to a busy walking street or pub street. Do be aware of the people who have the signs up and come up to you and say, hey, let's go to this bar. And then they don't show you any prices. They say, oh, you get 2 free drinks. That's absolutely fine. And then you buy some other ones because the drinks were okay. Then your bar bill suddenly comes for 2 people, 1,000 baht, for example, when it should be only 300 to 400. There's nothing really you can do. You can go and complain to the tourist police, but it's a pain in the backside. Again, personally, I would just actually pay it and learn my lesson. You can go into bars, but you can look at prices and you can see again these girls here advertising them. It will say 69 baht happy hour, for example, and you could go in. There may be some kind of service charge, there may be some kind of tipping charge, could be some tax charge, for example. Be aware. Again, not every single bar is there to scam. They don't want the bad reputation. But some of the smaller bars that maybe around the corner and nothing very special happens may take advantage of the naive first-time traveler to Asia. One more thing to go, which is about transportation. Now, in Cambodia, you can get a tuk-tuk, and most of the time these tuk-tuk drivers are fine. But there may be some scams with it that you would ask, how much is it? And they may say, oh, it's $2, but there's 2 of you. And then he will say, it's $4. It's not a big deal, but he said, oh, that's per person. So make sure you ask. Make sure you ask. Is it for the whole tuk-tuk? Is it for the whole taxi? Or is that per person? Again, it's not a big deal because you do have $1 or $2 to spare. You are on holiday, but you don't want to be ripped off for it. It's the principle. Not every tuk-tuk driver, not every taxi driver is, but there are some few people who just want to take your money there and then. They don't think of the long-term prospect of the tourists. They just think of there and then. I do hope you enjoy your holiday to the Kingdom of Wonder or Amazing Thailand or wherever it is in Asia or perhaps the world. The simple thing is just be aware and do your research, especially if it's a brand new country, whether it's Panama or Chile or, I don't know, Rio de Janeiro. There's lots of people who would love to take your pennies from you, but the majority just want you there and is happy to welcome you as a guest into their country. I hope you found this useful. The like, subscribe and share is always there. And if you want to support this channel financially, then go to the Super Thanks, join the membership program or support on Patreon. God bless to everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.